welcome to the Late Night Lowdown. Today we're going to be doing a segment called Here's My Issue. And today on Here's My Issue, we're going to be talking about plot holes within the Harry Potter series. Now, we're strictly talking about the books.
Let's start off by saying we are huge fans of the series. We are not mocking the series in any way.
Oh no, you don't joke about Harry Potter.
J.K. Rowling is the queen in our books.
Just to reiterate, we're mega fans. But we have found a few plot holes that we'd like to discuss.
And it is because we are mega fans that we have found these plot holes.
Because only real fans would find these plot holes because they know too much.
Exactly.
My first issue that I actually have a problem with, that I actually haven't found online, is that. Okay, so Harry is a Horcrux, right? We all know he's the unintentional Horcrux. Mm-hmm. And we know that one of the ways to kill a Horcrux is through basilisk venom.
Yes, that's right.
So in the second book, when Harry gets punctured by the basilisk fang, which in turn seeps venom into him, and we know the venom affected him because he started to like get all blurry vision and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Wouldn't that have killed the Horcrux?
Now they say that whatever the sword, Godric Gryffindor's sword, whatever it stabs, whatever it touches, it will make it stronger. So my thing is that the sword is actually the destroyer of the Horcruxes, and the sword stabbed the basilisk while he was being stabbed by this tooth. So
wouldn't it just been dual? Like the sword imbibes the venom because the sword only takes in, which makes it stronger.
Yeah.
So what that means is that it wouldn't take in like dirt or something like that because it's goblin made. Yeah. So it doesn't take in dirt because it doesn't make it stronger, but it takes in venom because it makes it stronger. So that out of the equation, venom is obviously a strong thing.
The tooth comes out of the basilisk when it enters Harry's arm, so maybe that particular tooth wasn't poisoned.
But we know it was poisoned because Harry starts to feel the effects of it.
I'm saying it doesn't have the powers to destroy the Horcruxes.
Wrong.
Are we going to agree to disagree?
You tell us. I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm right. Next issue, we were talking about Fred and George and the Marauders map.
And the issue with Peter Pettigrew.
So they have had this map for their entire Hogwarts prankster career. Wouldn't they have noticed while scheming Ron hanging out with this Peter Pettigrew like all the time? Because Ron like put Scabbers in his pockets and like his robes and his bag, and like he was always holding him and stuff. So wouldn't they have noticed like on top of Ron Weasley like Peter Pettigrew, and like they never questioned it?
I don't understand how they could be using that map and not understanding that Ron is constantly with this Peter character and them have no idea who that is.
It's supposed to be common knowledge of who Sirius Black is. Like, everyone knows who Sirius Black is in the Wizarding world.
So then they would know who Peter Pettigrew is.
They would automatically know
Sirius
that.
Black was. J.K. Rowling, answer this question for us, please.
That's my issue. In Goblet of Fire, why did the Portkey work two ways? In Goblet of Fire at the Quidditch World Cup, we know that a Portkey was set up for a specific time, and the Weasleys would have to catch it, and then once it was done, it was inactivated and they threw the boot on a pile with the other Portkeys. It specifically says that. But then at the end of Goblet of Fire, when they're in the maze and Harry grabs the cup and then there's that whole battle and Cedric dies, he's able to grab the cup again and go right back to not only Hogwarts but the front of the maze.
Where the cup was not when he originally touched it the first time.
Plus, like a mastermind like Barty Crouch Jr., who's a Death Eater, wouldn't have set up a cup two ways, like, unless maybe if Voldemort succeeded and killed Harry, maybe he was supposed to come back with it.
That's a good point. I never thought of that
till this moment. You witnessed a thought. YouTube, that just happened.
Yeah.
You witnessed a thought, is what I said.
Another issue, the Time Turner. The number one issue, I think it's the most common issue amongst fans, is why don't we use the Time Turner for other reasons than just going from class to class, but why doesn't the Time Turner come back?
Dumbledore says, like, we must never meddle with time, Harry, and we will use it to save this animal, but not your parents.
He says it exactly like...
We're using it to save Sirius's life, which is an innocent life, but why can't we save James and Lily? Or Snape, or Fred, or any of the people who died.
There you go. But here's another thing. In Order of the Phoenix, when they're in the Department of Mysteries, don't they come across a room full of time turners or something like that? And doesn't that get destroyed?
Yes.
Would that imply that all the time turners are destroyed, but then there's the one that was at Hogwarts? Did it travel back to the Ministry after the saving of Buckbeak and Sirius?
There's obviously a recipe or like instructions on how to make time turners. They're wizards, like they can make more.
Yeah, but it's also in the Department of Mysteries, and those.
So they're just so they're just non-existent now. That store of 30 time turners got destroyed. Well, there's a point there.
There's the issue.
Joanne, like, get your plot holes together. Oh, we were just talking about this.
Oh, the birth of Hagrid, how that could have possibly been something that could occur.
They said that Fridwilfa, I think was.
Don't turn to me.
I want to say it's Fridwilfa. Is Hagrid's mom's name?
Should I get the book?
No. She supposedly was a normal giantess woman.
Yes.
Which would have been what, 15 feet, and so Fridwilfa would have been full grown. So I'm guessing that's 16 to 20.
16
I'm
to
guessing
20.
like males are like 20 something feet. So 20-foot woman
with a human. How tall is his father? Is the first question. And the second question is, how does the human to giant mating ritual occur?
Like, sexually, no.
Next one's a really good one.
Oh yeah! The 7 Potters in Deathly Hallows.
Why couldn't Harry just drink Polyjuice Potion and become someone else?
Like, why couldn't he be like Kingsley? And they just like are like, oh,
instead we're gonna make 7
goodies,
Potters.
Death Eaters. We're just on our way to the Ministry of Magic. No Harry here. Just Kingsley.
Why?
If he took the Polyjuice Potion and turned into Kingsley Shacklebolt, say, would they even need to fly through the sky? Like, they could portkey or apparate.
But it wasn't. Apparating was being followed by the Ministry, wasn't it? And the Ministry was already infiltrated by Voldemort's Death Eaters.
They could drive.
Let's take up human
I'm sorry.
ways of travel.
Were the Death Eaters on buses? Were they, Laura? No, they weren't on public transportation. So which one's safer, flying the skies or
okay? But how far was Grimmauld Place? Or sorry, the Borough, I should say. How far was that from from London?
They weren't in London. They were in Surrey.
My mistake.
Little whinging Surrey to Ottery St. Catchpole. If you're from Britain, let us know what the distance is and if there's public transit.
We would like to know.
We should have looked that up. Okay.
Oh yeah, we should. That's all for the Late Night Lowdown this week, folks.
This has been Here's My Issue.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Where's my wand when I need it?